Welcome to this video, guys. If you want to buy real estate just like this one, using no banks, including cars as well, using none of your own money and no credit, you're watching the perfect video series, which is creative finance. And today, guys, on this third video, I'm going to talk to you guys about what we call hybrid. So hybrid is basically a mix of subject to and seller finance, and we're gonna go inside. I'm gonna break it down for you guys. That's exactly how I bought even this car. I didn't use none of my own money, and I didn't walk into a bank to qualify for the loan to buy this property. Let's go inside. So here's what happened, guys. The way we bought this property, as you guys can tell, is absolutely fully furnished. This is what we call a midterm rental. This property is going to bring us somewhere around $6,600 per month. The way we bought this is we found a seller that is in the state that we call pre-foreclosure. What that means is she was about to lose her home because she was behind on the mortgage and the bank is trying to foreclose on the home. So we helped stop the auction. You guys should go and watch my pre-foreclosure series and understand exactly how we do that. But the issue was this, guys. Brand new property, but she just bought it. She haven't owned it for a long time. And if you guys know anything about real estate, if you owned a property for maybe 1 year or two, if you try to sell it on the market, it haven't appreciated enough for you to be able to have enough equity to cover all your expenses. What does that mean, Mamadou? What that means is if you sell in real estate in the US, you have about 8% of expenses depending on the price you sell it at, right? So let's say, for example, this property is worth somewhere around $410,000. Well, guess what? If you, the homeowner, you list this property with a real estate agent and you list it on the market and you get a full offer, okay, you are going to have to pay, you the seller, you're going to have to pay expenses of 8% of that $410,000 to sell your home. And so let's say hypothetically you owe, like $356,000 on the house. Obviously there is very little left for you to be able to cover your real estate agent, who is the seller's agent, and then the person that's going to buy from you has also an agent, and we call that the buyer's agent. You cannot cover that, and then you still have what we call the closing costs, which is with the closing attorney or the title company, depending which state you're doing it at. So you will be what we call in real estate negative equity. That means you may have to write a check to sell your own home, and that's exactly the situation that this lady that sold us this property was in. So what we offered instead is this, guys. So we said, hey, listen, how about we just, so you owe right now on your property, you owe somewhere very close to $300,000. Okay, how about you just leave this loan in place, subject to, remember guys, I already explained on the first video what subject to is when we buy the house and the seller leave the loan on their name and we transfer title, so we own the property, we're responsible for the mortgage, but the loan stays on the seller's name and we are just responsible for the monthly payments. If you guys haven't watched the second video on this topic, make sure you go back and watch the second video on what the subject to is. But essentially, guys, we decided to give her somewhere, I think around $60,000 over what she owed on the property. And so she owes very close to $300,000. Okay, so she's leaving that loan in place. So with that being said, I don't have to walk to her bank and qualify for the loan. She has an FHA loan here at 3%, guys. 3%. Right now, you cannot find that anywhere, all right? That kind of interest rate. So not only that, the property is brand new. We don't have to renovate anything, and you guys will see with the video B-roll on this video. All right, guys. So she leaves that in place. So now I don't have to show my credit. I don't need pay stubs because I'm not qualifying for it. It's staying on her name. I am just fully responsible for the monthly payments. All right. So the fourth video, I'm going to go down on the mechanics on how we structure that and then how is she protected. All right. So now the extra $60,000 that we gave her, obviously on paper, that's now what we call her equity. And the reason we're able to do that is because she was willing to leave the loan in place on her name. So I don't have to go to a lender, put a down payment, show my credit, show income. I don't have to go to a hard money lender, put big down payments. Because she's saving me all those headaches, I can pay her a little bit more than a homestead buyer would have been able to pay her on the market. Does that kind of make sense? So that's why I can give her $60,000 more, but we didn't give her all that money up front. So remember, with the mortgage, which is the first thing here, right? She owes a mortgage. We did it subject to. So she left that in place on her name. We're making the monthly payments. Now the $60,000, that's now her money. We said, hey, we're gonna give you $25,000 upfront at the close of escrow. and then the remaining $35,000, if I'm not mistaken, that's what is left, right? So that $35,000, she left it as a loan. So now we have the first mortgage, close to $300,000 from, I think her bank here is Wells Fargo, I'm not really sure, but it's an FHA loan. And then now that $35,000 that she's financing to us, because I'm only giving her $25,000 up front, she becomes the bank on that money. So now she's our second bank. So now we essentially have two banks on this property. One is the underlying mortgage that she already had. We just keep making those payments. It's somewhere around $2,200 on this property that is worth $410, or if not even more, I think right now. And then guys, this is Snellville, Georgia. The area is fantastic, all right? And then her remaining here, we drafted what we called a note and a security deed. So that right there is what we record against the property as a lien, saying that, hey, Mamadou's company owes X lady, I'm not gonna give her name on this call, on this video. I'm not gonna give her name on this video, that we owe her $35,000 and we agreed to 0%, guys. We're paying her 0% interest on that $35,000, and every single month we're sending her $200 on her monthly payments. So for the next 2 years, we are sending her $200 per month on her remaining $35,000. And at the 2-year mark, we're gonna write her a one lump sum check on the remaining balance. So essentially right now, we have the first bank, we're making $2,200, and then the second bank, which is the seller that sold us the property, we're making $200 payments to her. That's $2,400, guys, all right, that we're paying every single month. And this property is going to bring gross $6,600 as a midterm rental, because we're not doing traditional rental here. So we're renting it to professionals like nurses, traveling professionals, pilots, those kind of things. So they pay a little bit way higher than a traditional rental. Imagine that, guys. We bought a property, right, where we didn't have to show none of our pay stubs. We didn't have to show our credit. We didn't have to go to a bank and qualify for any loan. Plus, guys, the cash that we gave to the seller, we didn't use our own money. How did we get the money? Well, we use what is called OPM. We use private lenders. These are personal relationships that we have. So we work with certain people that are nurses. They have a 9-to-5, have 401ks, self-directed 401ks, right? And they're not using that money. They're getting zero returns out of that money. So they invest it with us and we give them a return out of it. And so we were all in zero money out of pocket. So for here, our return is infinite. And our investor private lenders returns are somewhere around 10%. All right, guys? So that's how we bought it. And why is it a hybrid? Because the cash to the seller, the note that we created, the loan that we owe her, that is called seller finance. So the seller financed us $35,000. So it's very literal, seller finance. And then we have the first mortgage, which is subject to. If there's an underlying debt, that's called a subject to. Don't confuse it with loan assumptions. They're not the same. So it's a hybrid because it's a partially subject to transaction and then a partially seller finance mix. So we call that a hybrid. The same way you can have a BMW that is, a hybrid, which is partially mechanic and then partially is bunch of machines. Does that kind of make sense? That's why we call it hybrid creative finance. And that's exactly, guys, how we bought this property. So guys, if you want to learn this kind of strategies, number one, let me know what your takeaways from this video. Leave a comment below. Number two, if you want to learn this kind of strategies, DM me on IG at Real Estate Diallo. All right, this is what I do on a day-to-day. And the best leads to get this kind of deals is pre-foreclosures. That's exactly how we found this seller. And the reason for that is because, guys, that's the time ticking bomb. They have to do something. Either they pay off who they owe money to, or they're gonna lose the home. So they definitely need help. So not only are you solving problems by helping them avoid foreclosure, you're fixing their credit, you're helping them and relieving them out of all this stress. They're moving on with their life and you are getting a fantastic deal. So guys, if you want to build the real estate portfolio, creative finance is the way. It works on a good market, down market, low market, middle market. It really absolutely doesn't matter, guys. All right, so make sure you give this video a thumbs up. All right, guys, if you got any value out of it, don't be greedy with the algorithm. It definitely helps. If you're getting any value out of this channel, make sure you subscribe, share this video to anyone that you know that can benefit from it. And until next time, guys, make sure you keep that boom mentality. All right, guys, and the boom stands for being bold and brave, and you have to be obsessed. If you really want to do this real estate, you have to be obsessed. And then the second O is for being optimistic. All right, always look at it with an abundance mindset. And then lastly, the mindset. Definitely you have to have the right mindset, because anything you think of becomes real. So make sure you have that abundance mindset, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Boom, boom, boom.